And like I'm standing there doing the sound for it, and I radio into the stage manager. I was like, "Do you want me to stop the show? Goofy just lost his head." And they're like, "Keep it going, keep it going." I was like, "Okay, shit." Yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome to Creative Ops, a podcast for creative people, by creative people. I'm your host, Christopher Talon. By trade a writer, I suppose you could say. I dabble in music as well. The music you're hearing right now is me. That's actually me playing all the instruments. You dig it? Well, whatever. Anyway, today I talked to somebody who's really truly plugged into the musical scene, a man named Pedro Rodriguez, tour manager for KMFDM, also a musician and DJ and collaborator and great guy all around. But first, let me tell you a little bit before we get to all that really good stuff there. It's really good stuff. But first, just let me tell you real quick about a couple of the friends of the show. I got to mention Hey Guys Media Group, heyguysmediagroup.com. They helped get this show started and off the ground, and they can help you get your podcast started. So please, go to heyguysmediagroup.com. Check them out and see how they can help you make your podcast. I would be remiss if I didn't tell you about Rivertown Adventures. Paul Brogan, the owner, was the first guest on the show, good friend of mine, and man, does he put out a good product with Rivertown Adventures. It's a lot of fun. The most fun you're going to have outdoors in the Lansing area. In Lansing, Michigan, you can rent a canoe, a kayak, a stand-up paddleboard. I think they even have bikes, and they have a big boat for events. It's one of those cool boats that paddles up and down the river. It's great. It's really great. rivertownadventures.com. Live free, go paddle. Also check out Baby Farm Soaps. They're only on Facebook. It's a great little company in Kentucky that makes soaps, beard balms, sunscreens, bath bombs, and all kinds of other great stuff. Baby Farm Soaps, Facebook. If you like to be in the bathroom and get clean and take care of yourself, they're your people. Baby Farm Soaps, only on Facebook. Also check out Fresh Coast Seed Co. I interviewed Fresh Coast on episode 5. It's been one of the most talked about episodes, one of the most requested re-gets. People want him back on, so we'll work on that. But in the meantime, check them out. They're on Instagram, Fresh Coast Seed Co. 2. I'll have the show notes. You can get all of the sponsors' information there. But now, let's talk about Pedro Rodriguez for a second, all right? So as I mentioned, Pedro Rodriguez, if you see him on Instagram, he's at Pedro the Roadie. Longtime tour manager for KMFDM. And before that, he was just a guy who worked as a roadie and in general in the musical entertainment industry. He's done lighting, he's done sound, he's done a little bit of everything, and you'll hear more about that. But on top of that, he's also just a true creative. He's got his own studio space where he works with artists of all kinds, people who work in visual mediums and as well as audio mediums. He has the Karuna Art Collective, and he's really just a very nice guy, especially when you think about some of the music that he's been associated with directly and indirectly. Some of it's kind of loud or aggressive. And Pedro is just like one of the most laid-back, cool individuals I've met. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce you to my good friend Pedro the Roadie, or Pedro Rodriguez, whatever you want to call him. Here he is. For KMFDM?
Yes, sir.
So how did you come up with that gig? Because that's a band that's not even from the same country as you, right?
Yeah, no, they're from Germany. So how that came about was I'm part of a website called Bobnet, and it's like a secret like Facebook community of all roadies that we communicate with each other, and we get jobs and blah 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 through it. A friend of mine, Charlie, was the tour manager at the time for KMFDM, and I was running lights at Underground Arts in Philly here, a local venue.
Okay.
KMFDM came through. They were on tour with Olger, and my buddy Charlie was suffering from kidney stones.
Ooh.
Yeah, so he
I've
came
seen
over
I've
to
seen
me.
people with those before too. You're like laying
Yeah,
down, not moving at all. Like that. People don't
yeah,
know that that's not a joke unless you've seen it or you had it. That's no joke.
yeah. So like he's like, hey, I don't want to let them know that I'm hurting, blah 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 blah, but we have a lighting guy, so you don't have to really do much today for lighting wise. Can you help me out? I was like, yeah, sure. So I helped him out with, his daily like stocking the bus and blah blah, regular stuff. At the at the end of the night, I was like, dude, if you're not feeling good, like this is some serious shit.
Yeah.
Go to the hospital, go get checked out. He's like, yeah, uh, I'll let you know what happens. Not even, I want to say, after we loaded them out, I get a call from Sasha. Actually, I get a call from Charlie, and then he put Sasha, the singer, the lead singer from KMFDM, on the phone, and he's like, "Hey, I enjoyed what you did for us. I really appreciate it. How you took care of us when we were in Philly. Our guy has to leave because he's sick. So pretty much, my friend Charlie fired himself from the tour and hired me. Yeah, so it was like it was insane. So he was like, they're like, so how fast can you make it to Boston? That's our next show. Like they were playing Irving Plaza in New York City that day, and they wanted me to go to Irving Plaza to start that day. But I already had a gig. I lined up a gig setting up a private event at the Mutter Museum here in Philadelphia. I'm not sure if you know what the Mutter Museum is.
I don't know.
All right, so the Mutter Museum has like a whole bunch of like science, like weird stuff in like jars and shit, like
Okay.
twin babies and shit like that. It's like a really cool, creepy fucking museum. So like to have a private event that I had booked that I'm doing audio for,
Yeah.
in there, I was just like, I can't pass this up. And they're like,
Right.
no. We understand. He could do today. Just make it up to Boston for the show in Boston. I was like, all right, cool.
Well, yeah, man, you already had stuff going on where you were, what you were doing. So that's obviously a dream opportunity, but like what happens? You tell your landlord, your roommate, or the people that you're working with, like, hey man, I just gotta go.
No, at the time I was living by I always live by myself. Currently my niece lives with me. But I told my job, I was like, hey, KMFDM asked me to be their tour manager, and my boss was just like, no, go, just do it, dude. I was just like, all right, cool.
Well, that's nice. At least you had a cool, supportive, creative cast around you, huh?
Yeah.
So were you just doing lights at the time, or were you just kind of doing like everything, and specifically that day you were doing lights?
I was doing lights locally.
And that was your main thing. So it's not like you had been a roadie or a tour manager or anything like that before. It just kind of.
Oh no, I've tour managed before, and I've done roadie work before.
Okay.
And then
how does somebody even get into roadie work in the first place? I imagine that it's probably mostly people who are musicians.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
For me, it started really early. Like I started at the electric factory. I'm working as a security guard and a stagehand. And then from there, I started getting to know, like, I kept seeing some of the same bands coming through. And I became friends with the bands. And like every time I was working security backstage, making sure that everybody had their credentials and shit like that. some of the bands were like, "Yo, man, I love your energy. I love your positive attitude. I
Yeah.
love that you're not always hawking me about, hey, let me see your pass, let me see your pass." Every time I come through the door, even though
Yeah.
you just see me, I'm like, "No, man. Like I understand how it is." And they're like, "Hey," and then I forget. Oh man, I'm drawing a blank, but I forget what first band I toured with. The name of the band, they're not around anymore, but it was like in a 12 passenger van, and like it was an awesome experience, and like I was selling merch for them. They're
Yeah.
just like they hit me up and they're like, "Hey, you're the dude from Philly, right?" I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "Hey, our merch guy isn't available. Do you want to sell merch for us?" And that's how it started for me, was like selling merch, and then like I started learning more audio, and then started doing audio for local bands here in Philly, like little small tours.
Yeah.
Then I landed an audio gig with Disney on Ice. Um, I did that for a bit.
How was working with Disney? Did it feel any different than any other gig?
Yes. You think metal and rock shows are insane? Dude, moms who spent money buying their kids tickets to see this like production are insane. Like,
And they
like,
probably spent a good amount on it too, huh?
yeah, man. Like they get into it, like, and then like I had like the weirdest people asking me for requests, like, because I was out front and like I'm
Yeah.
running sound for it. Like I remember one day some ladies like poking me, and I turn around. I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" And she's like, "It's my daughter's birthday. Can you have like Mickey Mouse come out?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, lady. Like we're about to start the show in like 15 minutes, but let me radio it in so I can get Mickey out here for
Yeah,
you."
let's change the whole show just for your kid.
And like the most memorable moment I had on Disney on Ice, we were playing in I forget where in Canada, but Celine Dion was at the show.
Huh.
Like, yeah, it was insane. Like I'm starting the show and I look over, I'm like, "Oh shit, that's Celine Dion. What the fuck?"
Yeah, it's one thing to see famous people when you're pointing lights and running audio, but it's another
Yeah,
thing when you're
yeah.
just like hanging out in the crowd.
Hmm.
So, what besides Disney? That's one people know. A lot of people know KMFDM. Have you worked with anybody else in the music business that
Oh yeah.
or entertainment business that people would say, "Oh yeah, I've heard of those guys."
Oh yeah. I've worked with this band called Misery from Long Island, New York. We were on tour with the guys in Devil Driver, Kitty,
Oh,
and another band called Hostility from California. Who else did I? Oh man,
are a lot of the bands that you do stuff with in the heavier genres of music, or not necessarily?
not necessarily. I've done a couple like Russian bands, like doing lighting for a Russian band. Like I don't understand what they're saying to me. They're like blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay, you sound mad as hell, so I'm gonna fix this.
Yeah, right. And Mad Russian sounds really mad too.
Yeah.
Like it's a special language. I think it would be the scariest language to hear, like right before somebody puts a gun in your
Yeah.
face. Like,
And then,
ah,
like I also drum tech for a Russian band, and like all I knew was like my drummer was always saying shamuta, shamuta, khara. I'm like, okay, he's mad. All right.
I had a friend growing up who spoke Russian. His parents were from Russia, but the only thing I could ever understand was da and yet.
Mm.
That was usually what he was yelling up back and forth to his parents through the door or down the stairs. Da, yet, no, ma, no. Okay. I
Let's
understood you
see.
said no and yes there, but everything else was just blah, blah, blah. He was like, yeah.
Oh my God. Let's see who else. I was on the I Love the '90s tour for a minute, doing setting up the I was a backline tech for it, so I
Dude,
set
I
up
bet that was a
the.
fun show, wasn't it?
Oh, that was amazing, yo! Like I set up, like for me especially, like being an old school hip hop head,
Yeah.
like I got to set up the turntables for Spinderella. I set up the drum kit for my homie Keith Reber, who was playing drums for Vanilla Ice.
No shit.
I set up the drums for Dean Butterworth, who plays with Good Charlotte, but at the time was doing stuff with Sugar Ray.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, because they never really had a solid drummer in that band, did they?
Nah. So it was really intense. Like, it was cool because like once I set up all my stuff, I got it. I was able to to just chill and like watch the show from the side stage on stage and whatnot. And like every night, it was just a beautiful time. And like I missed that tour. Like I remember one time the Salt from Salt and Pepper. I was on stage right, making sure that no one like went on stage to touch her and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and there was a time on the set that we're singing they were transitioning from Push It to What a Man. So she takes off her gold chain and tosses it to me on stage right. And I'm on stage right. I'm just like, oh man, oh god, don't drop this,
watching this thing like float in air in slow motion, like no.
Yeah. And then like when I finally caught it, I was just like, whew, I caught the chain, and then I'm like this, holy shit, I'm holding her chain. What the fuck?
This has got her sweat on it. Oh.
Yeah, I was just and then like doing stuff with Coolio, like that was fun because he the first day we're doing rehearsals and whatnot, he looks at me, he's like, "You're a big guy, I need you." I'm like, okay. He's like, "I'm gonna be going out on the crowd singing Gangster's Paradise, and I just want you to be my guy to pretend to be my security detail so people don't really touch me." I'm like,
yeah,
okay. He's like, "Just don't say anything and look mean." I'm like, all right.
So as long as you didn't talk, you'd be good, man. Because as soon as you talk, I think people can tell you're not that kind of dude.
Yeah.
So well, I don't want to be rude and ask you how old you are, but how long have you been in the professional entertainment game?
Since around 17, 18 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't mind. I'm 42.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're right around the same age.
Yeah.
I don't have quite as much white in my beard, but it's coming in, man. I don't know if you can see it. It's definitely starting to come in.
Dude, you do not want the salt and pepper hair.
I think it looks dignified, and you've got it coming in like a nice way where it's like coming in kind of equal on both sides. I've just got like 3 or 4 hairs over here, like one here, one here. Yeah. So I don't know if I could get some uniformity to that, and I'm losing my hair too, man. Like,
oh no, I'll give you some of this.
Like that for years too. It won't just go away.
I'll give you some of this.
I know that's not right, man. Every time I see somebody who's my age or older with a full, thick, beautiful head of hair like that, I just want to slap them.
The funny part is, I've always wanted to be bald, so I always shave my hair bald.
Yeah, the grass is always greener, right?
Yeah, dude. For me, it's like shit. It's low maintenance, man. Like I don't gotta do shit. I just gotta wake up and kick it.
Yeah. Well, that was the whole idea with me and the beard, was that I was just sick of shaving. I was in the Navy for a couple of years, and after that, I was just like, shaving's the worst.
Oh, nice.
So I let that out. But then I was shaving my head. But then I got sick of shaving my head for the same reason, just like I was like, razor shaving it. I just got sick of doing that. So I started letting it grow out, and then it got too long that it was like my hair will start to kind of do like an afro thing, kind of like almost like I'm not Jewish, but it kind of looks like a Jewish guy afro, but with that bald spot in the middle. Once it gets too long and starts to fall down on the sides, then I just got that baby chicken hair on the top. So I just cut it again, but it was froed out like about 2 weeks ago.
Nice. Yeah. This is like super too much for me. I need to get this thing cut. Like seriously.
You just do it yourself usually, or no?
I usually do it myself, but I'm waiting for the kid there's a kid on my neighborhood. He's like 16 years old, 17 years old. He's like, "Yeah, man, I want to be a barber, blah, 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 blah." I was like, "Hey, cut my hair." He's like, "But what if I screw up?" I was like,
Just shave it.
and I'll go bald. He's like, are you serious? I was like, yeah, dude. Like, why not? It's going to give you a chance to cut hair.
Yeah. Yeah. Helping people out.
Yeah.
And it's not as bad as I had a roommate one time that was studying to become a phlebotomist, you know, the people that work at the lab and draw blood.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, hey, I brought some needles home and some, you know, blood collection stuff. Can I practice on you? So I was like, I guess. I let her practice on me once and never again. I was like, I think you went through it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
but she let me keep my little vial of blood. She let me keep my vial of blood, but I didn't keep it that long because people thought I was like getting into some satanic stuff. Like, why you got blood by your bed?
Like, don't worry about it. Shut up.
Yeah. So live music and live entertainment, it's coming back now, but for at least a good year and a half, it was dead. So did you just put all your creative efforts into the art collective then?
Yeah. So funny thing is I started Art Collective before the pandemic, and then I had a little like a real studio space
Mm-hmm.
that I was renting out, and when the pandemic hit, like, you know, funds were low, and I couldn't continue renting out this space. So
well, yeah, people weren't doing anything.
Yeah, so I moved everything back to the original location, which was my house and my dining room. So like, yeah, I focused more of my energy on that during the pandemic, and like taking up I got certified to do Reiki.
I've heard about that before. It's like a hands-on healing thing, but you're not like actually like, it's not like a what do you call it, the chiropractor, where you're actually like snapping and cracking things, right?
Yeah. So I got certified to do that. I did a lot of reading.
I don't want to gloss over the Reiki stuff though, because a lot of people don't even know what that is. Tell people, like, what's your just, you know, one paragraph about how you would explain that to people, because I had only heard of it recently.
All right, so Reiki is pretty much like energy healing. Like we focus, like we'll talk to the client and ask them like what they're going through or whatever, and we'll focus our energy on that certain area. And some is hands-on, but depending on the client, if they want to be hands-off, we just, you know, lay our hands over that area and work, and we send our positive energy into them so we could clear out whatever they're going through.
Does that like focus on like the different chakras and that kind of stuff too?
Yeah.
I've been getting kind of more into that. Well, actually my wife's been spearheading it, but she's been getting really into that, and I'm just kind of like along for the ride, like, all right, that's cool. And she talked to somebody else about that too, and they were saying that the first time they went to somebody, the person just kind of like, you know, same thing you were talking about, talked to them and said, all right, well, here, I'm gonna just go ahead and put my hands here. And they said that the person just kind of put hands and pushed down just a little bit, and the person who was receiving the treatment just burst out into tears.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. All right.
Yeah. It's powerful stuff, man.
Yeah. I still have to give it a shot myself, but yeah, I'm game for it, especially after the way that last person was like, dude, something inside of me just burst open. I started crying like a baby. And when I walked out of there, I felt like I was 10. Like I just felt great.
Nice. Yeah, definitely do it. I'll recommend. Yeah, definitely do it.
How long does it take to get trained in that?
Geez, it took me about 2-3 weeks to do it online.
Oh, so it doesn't take that long, really?
No.
Compared to some certificates and things.
Yeah. It took me. Yeah, it wasn't that long. It was just but for me it was easier because like I was sitting at home knowing nothing. Right. So I was just like knock that all out.
Yeah. Are you that kind of guy that you're like, when you get into something, you don't just kind of like slowly take it in, you just jump in, like that's the only thing you focus on?
Yeah, I guess it's like some call it an addictive personality, I guess. Yeah, I'm that way. Like if I go into something, I go into it 110%, and like and I keep going until I either figure it out, or if I get frustrated, I'll put it to the back burner real quick and then come back to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I'm doing that all the time too. I have my energy like focused out, spread out across a couple of different things, like the podcast, writing a novel that I've got to submit some stuff to a publisher for. Hopefully I get that published.
Nice.
Got my wife, focus on that. Got all my 4 kids.
Ooh.
And it always feels like whenever one thing is going really well, something else is like about to fall off, and you got to go run and tend to that, make sure that doesn't break, and then and then this one, and it's like those, like the guys with the spinning plates on the on the old variety shows. Yeah, man. So I feel you on that. All right. Well, how long ago did you start the? Okay, and let's talk about the art collective too. Karuna, am I saying it right?
Yes, Karuna Collective. Pretty much, I started it in 2019. When I started it with someone that I thought was going to be a good fit for it, and that kind of fell off. I don't want to say anything about the person because
that happens. It happens. Yeah. It's happened with people that I've interviewed on this show before. They've had business partners where, it didn't work out. Yeah, personalities didn't work, or they had different visions, or
Yeah, this didn't work out. It didn't pan out. But Karuna is Sanskrit for compassion, and collective, or a group of people together to make one goal. So when I started Karuna Collective, it was pretty much I want, and I still do want it so I could, if I find someone that like the kid that wants to learn how to do haircuts,
yeah,
and be a barber, I'll see that and I'll help flourish it and water it and be like, all right, so I know yada 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 that owns a barber shop. Maybe I could get you in there so you could, sweep up the hair, and then here and there, start doing your thing,
Yeah, like take some mental notes, see it done.
Like I have a buddy of mine's out in California right now. She's been doing a lot of painting and stuff and drawing, and I asked her, like, hey, are you trying to be a tattoo artist? And she's like, yeah. I was like, hey, so I kind of did tattooing back in the day, and I stopped doing it because I really didn't like it. Well, I liked it, but I just didn't like the clients. Right. So, yeah, that's a long story. But I was just like, hey, I have a few machines. If you want, I'll mail you one. And she's like, are you serious? I was like, yeah.
Yeah, they're just sitting there collecting dust otherwise.
Yeah, they're just sitting there. So I was like, I'll send you a machine. And she's like, oh, word, thank you so much. And I'm going to send that to her. And hopefully, that brings out a new awesome tattooer out in Cali.
That's awesome. Because that's really the whole point of my podcast, or at least what I hoped it would be. I don't know if it's exactly that, was something where people could look at something that people do, and then I could break it down in a way where people go, oh, well, that's doable. I could do, even if it's not that same thing, just to hear stories of people that like pursue passions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's usually pretty regular people. It's not like anybody's got some magic secret unlocked. They just were like, no, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
And too many people are afraid to do it, or they don't have somebody that's, encouraging them to do it.
Yeah.
It's like, I left teaching so that I could just pursue writing and other creative stuff full time. And almost everybody, with the exception of my wife, was like, I don't know. You should just stick with the safe thing, and maybe you could try to be a writer like when you're retired, or you could write in the summer when the kids are off. And I was just like, that's just not where my heart's at. But it's rare to find people that will encourage you in any kind of way, even if it's just words. So that's pretty awesome that you sent somebody a gift to get them started.
Yeah, it's like for me, it's like it all tends back to my junior high teacher, which I'm still trying to find her to like properly thank her. Well, like one day she pulled me aside and she was just like, hey, Pedro, this world could be as big as you want it to be, or as small as your own backyard. Take chances in life. I was like, wow, thanks.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
What kind of student were you at the time?
Let's put it this way: I was in an at-risk program in junior high.
Yeah, I something with me right about 7th grade. I don't know if it was hormones or what, but I just decided I didn't want to be in school anymore, and I barely made it through high school.
Oh yeah, that was me. Like my mom still tells me stories of like, I think it was like middle school. I bit the principal. Yeah, I was just like, what? She's like, yeah, you didn't want to be in school, so you bit the principal so you could come home. I was like, what? I was like, I was just like cannibal type stuff.
Man, well, either you got all that evil out of you when you were younger, or you're just a happier dude now that you're not there anymore. I don't know. Which one do you think it is?
It's because I found like Buddhism and Hinduism, because it's still there. Like this past weekend, I was having a really bad day, and that evilness was still lurking. I was just like, ah, it was like, yeah,
Yeah.
But now, like, I'm more calm and collective, I guess.
Yeah. Do you meditate?
Yeah.
Man, I really try, but like I'll like set a timer and try to meditate for like 15-20 minutes, and I usually can't make it more than like 5-10 minutes. Well, at least right now. But
okay.
like, that's something that I'm working on too, because I know that's also like a muscle that you got to flex and work on.
Yes.
That just, being in the moment, not thinking about what you have to do in 10 minutes, but just being right now.
I'll send you the link to a book that I read that helped me with meditation, like in like a on the go situation.
Yeah.
It's called Blue Jean Buddha.
Blue Jean Buddha. Yeah, man.
It's a really, really good book.
I'll put a note in the show notes too. Was it Blue Jean Buddha?
Yes, Blue Jean Buddha. And then I think it was like a year, last year or a year after, or sometime. It wasn't so long ago. RZA from Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah.
He came out. He collaborated with what's the name of that? It's Tazo. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. The tea company.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he put out a meditation album called Guided Explorations.
RZA did a meditation album with the tea company.
Like when I'm telling you, this thing is like I mean,
the dude's a genius. I believe it's going to be great.
Like it's really amazing. Like it was so good that it inspired me to make my own little meditation album called Urban Meditations. And pretty much on that album, it's an EP actually. I walked around my neighborhood and recorded stuff and then made music around the recordings.
And that's most of the music you make. You do it from a DJ perspective, right? Like, or I mean, not a perspective, but I guess I should say that's your main instrument is just all the DJ tools, or do you play? I play guitar, drums.
Yeah, I play guitar. I play the piano. I was actually goofing around with this today. The melodica.
That's one of the
yeah. I was goofing around with the melodica. I have a xylophone here that I play sometimes, and I sample and do stuff with, like anything that I can make noise with and be creative with, I use to make music.
So do you have like separate projects that you'll make, maybe more traditional acoustic music with, and then like have like a DJ name and you'll put out your music this way, that, or do you kind of like blend it all together and it's all just Pedro stuff?
At first, I was doing this stuff on under my DJ name Namo Maitri, and I'll explain that name in a minute.
Yes.
I started doing all like my DJ mixes on SoundCloud and blah blah blah, and then I started making music, and I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna put everything under one umbrella. If you like it, cool. If not, whatever, I don't care. And that's where I'm at now. I'm just like, I'll push music out there, and like If you rock with it, cool. If you don't, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's weird too, because you'll have a lot of people. Well, I don't know about you. I personally, just like starting this podcast, I had people telling me that the goal of my podcast was too broad and I needed to have like a more niche market. Like instead of just being, I talk to creative people all around, I should just talk to creative people like in publishing, or, you know, like something that focuses it in more for people. But I was like, you know what? That's not what I want to do.
Yeah.
And if there's something that I want to do, there's probably somebody else out there that wants to be a part of that some other way too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
I don't understand what's society's ideal on trying to make you fit into a box.
yeah.
Like, I don't understand it, man. Like,
Well, I think at the end of the day, everybody just wants to know like how to market something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's still
like,
marketable.
you play acoustic guitar and you put DJ beats and you have a piano and a melodica. I don't know how to market that. This guy over here, he just plays reggae. I know how to market that. You know, like,
Yeah, well, if you're a so-called marketer, then you're not good at your job if you can't market something.
and maybe that's the problem too, is people are just too marketers, or the people being marketed to. Maybe we're just too lazy and we want to know what everything is and where everything, what channel everything should be on, what radio station everything should be on.
Yeah, I think that's the major thing that's going on with a lot of people, is like we're too lazy and don't want to learn.
Yeah, or just figure things out on our own. Just tell me what's going on here.
Yeah.
I don't want to listen to the radio and figure out if I like a song. I want every song to be kind of the same.
Yeah, like I have 2 meditation albums out. Like one is called Serenity and the other one is Urban Meditations. And both of them, if you look at the liner, like the track notes, it's a quote. So it's like it makes you think a little. And like people are like, oh, it's a weird name for that track. Okay. But if you step back and see the bigger picture, they're like, oh, now it makes sense.
So we kind of drifted away from the art collective a little bit. I still do want to talk about the music too, but before I completely forget about the art collective, what are some of the projects that you've put out recently, or things that you're working on now that are kind of an example of what the collective does?
I put out a single with my friend from Vegas, DJ Sev One. It's called Creative Lifestyle, and pretty much it's the lyrics on there is pretty much an example of how me and him are, and like how creatives are. Like, we don't sleep, we're always thinking and doing something, or if we do sleep, it'll be like an hour or two, and then we wake up and then we're like inspired to do something else. So together, through the powers of the internet and Splice, which is an app for music producers and creatives.
Huh.
It's like a cloud service. So like I could work on something here, save it on Splice, and he can open it on his Ableton session, and everything's right there, arranged and aligned. And then he could add stuff, send it back to me, and I have it what he did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's cool. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, it's a cool little app, and it's free.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I definitely got to get on top of that, because I've got 2 friends. My buddy Nate, who was on the show, and then the guy whose show I was just on. His name is Kirk Ross. He does a show called The Talk in the Attic, which is a really cool show. Especially, I think you would like that one too, because he's a musician, and he can mix things and like grab something that somebody says and loop it and slow it down, and so it's he would like that. But yeah, me and my buddy, we both play guitar, and we're always saying we should find something that we can record on, and then we can send stuff back and forth to each other. But Splice, I'll check that out.
Yeah, currently now, because in the process of recording and doing an album with these 2 hip hop artists that friends with, and they come in and we've been recording a couple of tracks that should be out soon. I actually have to start editing some of the stuff that we did on Thursday. Yeah, it was this past Thursday. So I got to start editing some of that stuff. But like, they're all excited because it sounds like the little pre-production demo stuff that I made for them, and they're like, "Yo, dude, this is awesome. When are you gonna do some more?" I'm like, I gotta take a break from it and rest my ears because if I don't, like, I keep hearing the same song over and over and over, and I keep trying to edit stuff, and I'm just like, oh, all right, wait a minute. It's all in my head that it doesn't sound too good. So if I step away from it and then come back into it with fresh ears, it works better for me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that works. Anything you do when you're really trying to make something, whether it's like a painting, a sculpture, you're writing something, you're making music, you get to a point where you just get yourself like all fevered up over it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can't think clearly. You're just thinking from a point of like, I got to steer this thing out of the fog. I got to steer this thing out of the fog. Sometimes you just got to wait until the fog settles on its own.
Yeah. And like now I'm doing, I have a couple commission art pieces that I'm doing for people. After we wrap up this, I'm actually going to be heading out to sell a piece of art to someone that I made last night, and then I'm actually going to be talking to someone else.
When you say a piece of art, I'm curious what medium, like painting or?
Yeah, it's a painting. It's on canvas. I did a DMX painting.
I think I saw that one on your Instagram.
Yeah. I posted it up. I posted it up, and I got messaged like real quick. Like as soon as I posted it up, they're like, "How much? I want it." I was like, "Okay." And I'm doing another.
How much you got?
Yeah, and then I have another one that I have to do for a buddy of mine's that's in São Paulo, Brazil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he wants me to do something for his recording studio. So I'm like, all right, cool.
That's awesome. Shipping's going to be a monster on that one.
Well, no, he figured it out. He was like, hey, look, so just ship it to my producer in Chicago and he'll send it to me. I was like, that.
Yeah, that'll work, man, because I've tried to send something from Michigan to California before. Just like a something small, like it was a gift for my niece's birthday. So yeah, some toy for a 3-year-old. It costs $30 and it costs like almost $100 to ship it.
What? Jeez.
So yeah, we're like, that's the last time we do that. From now on, we're just sending them a gift card and they can go pick something up.
Oh man, that's insane.
Right? And that's just for like a standard shipping too. Yeah. So the art collective gets into music, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think I read on there too that like basically if there's anything you need artistically done, or if there's anything that you have a desire to do, like that's kind of a space to come for encouragement, support, or just to meet up with other creative types, right?
Yes.
So what is the full scope of things that happen under that banner then? You got music, you got painting,
photography, videography, like anything that helps you be creative and gets your helps you express your voice how you want. I will try my best with the connections and people that I know to make your vision come to life.
That's awesome. How many people have you worked with? Well, I don't know. You said you started this thing a while back now. You have do you keep any kind of running tally of like how many individuals you've actually done stuff with through the Karuna?
No. It's just I just do it and I don't even keep tallies of anything. It's just like I should start though.
Yeah. Or get like an autograph wall for some people when they come in and work on something.
Yeah. I should do that here in the house. Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. One of these days, I got to get out there because, stupid reason to want to go to Philly, because there's so much history and there's so much culture there. And I've seen the show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and that, for whatever reason, makes me want to come there. Dress up like the Green Man and go to an Eagles game or something.
Hey, throw some D batteries at people.
Really give them the Philly welcome.
Oh yeah,
it's the city of brotherly love, so they say, right?
Yeah.
But one thing that city has been famous for, at least for me, is like how much they really give people shit in like public squares, whether it's Allen Iverson or Bill Burr when he did his famous rant and told everybody that he hopes Philadelphia never wins anything and that everybody dies in a car fire.
Oh man, dude. Quick little funny story about Mr. Iverson. I was working backstage security at the electric factory, and it was it was the Roots and Medeski.
Oh, the Roots are so good.
Yeah,
I love the Roots.
Medeski, Martin, and Wood was playing the next day. So I think the drummer is Medeski, I forget, but he came in to do a little drum session with Quest, and Ivan Iverson tried to come in through the back door, had no credentials, nothing, and I just look at. He's like, "Yo, I need to get in." I'm like, "You have a pass?" He's like, "No."
Yeah, and he's only like 5'11", 6 foot, so he doesn't stand out as like, oh, I'm obviously a professional basketball player.
Yeah, he's like, I was like, "You have a pass?" He's like, "No." I was like, "Well, you could go around front and buy a ticket." He's like,
what, did he give you that? Do you?
Yeah, he gave me the. Do you know who I am? I was like, "Oh, yeah, I know who you are, but you still don't have any credentials. You don't have anything. If you could get somebody on the phone, tour manager, production manager, to let you in, then cool." Other than that, I was told no one gets in this door without a pass.
How do you take that?
He just looked at me. He's like, "Okay, I give you that. You're good at your job."
Oh, that's cool. Because I was gonna say that could have gone a couple of ways. Like, well, I got two dudes that are bigger than you that can show up here real quick.
Well, he actually respected that I actually took, did my job, because he's just like, any other person would just let me in. I'm like, no, I'm not any other person. Sorry.
Yeah, I always felt like he got a bad rap. Like, he just seems like the kind of dude that like won't smile at you unless he's happy and just says what's on his mind. But he's not like an asshole.
No.
Like, there's a difference between being like an asshole and just kind of having resting bitch face and saying what you think.
Yeah, he was pretty cool about it. I was just like, eh.
So I gotta ask, who's your favorite Philadelphia sports star of all time? There's been so many good ones.
Yeah, I want to say Pete Rose, because growing up, like, I wanted to be a baseball player, but I suck at baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hitting the baseball is a lot harder than people think it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I want to say Pete Rose. Pete, he just gave off that ooh, like I don't know, like that awesome, like, check me out energy.
Super confident.
Yeah.
Just has that mentality like, I'll beat you at anything. I don't even care.
Yeah. It was that. I was just like, wow, okay, cool.
Yeah. Sometimes, man, I don't know. Like, I like being around creative people a lot, but I don't know if I could even handle being in like the professional sports world, because creative people are always like, like you're always saying, like, they're all about supporting people and like, oh, check out this guy. If you think I'm cool, you should check out this person. But if you're in professional sports, it's all about like me and fuck you. And I couldn't handle that. So you never really got into, did you play sports much growing up?
Not really. Actually I did. We're funny. The one sport that I played was street hockey.
Oh yeah.
And like, it was funny because like, I'm like, if you know Philadelphia, I grew up in North Philadelphia, and like the hood of North Philadelphia, and like,
I'm not a lot of street hockey games going on there.
I'm like 19 years old with a hockey stick, and all the dudes in the hood are like, the heck is your problem, kid? And then back in the day, I had a big red afro too. Like I'll send you pictures of it. Like I was into like the whole punk rock scene and shit.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like, people were just like, "You are weird." I was just like I was rocking.
People are probably like, hey man, you shouldn't be on skates when you're doing acid, bro.
Yeah, like I was rocking Chuck Taylors before they even became like hip
Yeah.
in my neighborhood. Like
Before they
people
became
just-
$60 a pair.
Yeah, dude. It was like 15, $20 back in the day. Now like,
I was gonna say there's only half a pound of material in that
yeah,
whole pair of those shoes.
if that, dude. Shit.
Are you a low tops or a high tops guy?
I like both. I like the high tops for when I'm wearing shorts,
Yeah.
and then the low tops for when I'm wearing like jeans and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I would, oh man, I would.
I could never.
die.
I always liked the way the high tops looked. I just didn't like the way they felt.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It was weird, but it gave me support because I used to do a lot of BMXing back in the day.
Oh yeah, right on.
Yeah,
What kind of bike did you ride?
I had a Harrow.
No, dude. So you were a Dave Mira guy, huh?
Yeah, that was
Nice.
my man right there, yo.
Dude, I love Dave Mira. Dave Mira and oh geez, what was the other dude's name? There was a guy who was a little bit leaner and skinnier, and he had longer brown hair.
Oh,
Trent? No, that wasn't Trent. God, why can't I think of the dude's name? He used to do a lot of stuff on the Jackass show too. Like he rode his bike on that that pipe that went all the way 360 around on his bike.
Yeah.
I can't think of the dude's name to save my life now.
Huh.
And then I also used to like Jay Mirren too, the Canadian Beast. I actually had his bike, his model bike, when I was in high school.
Yeah, I had a Harrow and then I had a Dyno.
A Dyno? I don't know that brand.
Yeah, it was around for a little bit. I don't know what happened to them. It was a sturdy bike, right?
Probably got bought out by one of the bigger ones, Mongoose or Arrow or one of those guys.
Like I stopped BMXing because one time I jumped over a fire hydrant, and then when I landed, my fucking front tire blew, and then I fucking rolled and screwed up my knee, and I was just like, "Yep, I'm done."
You know, it's funny. I got my bike from a guy who got rid of his bike after the bike was fine, but he was trying to do a half pipe, and I think his body came down like just right on the ledge of the half pipe, and he ended up like breaking his wrist and I think one of his ribs, and he was like, I think I'm done with the bike now. He'd broken something for like the second or third time on it and was like, I'm done.
Yeah, with me it was the first time I actually was riding home on the bike after that, I fixed the front tire and I was riding back home, and like I'm riding and this I rode by this group of people and they're like, yo, your foot. And I'm like, huh? And I look down and I'm like bleeding out of my fucking kneecap and shit. I was like, huh, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, that's always a bummer when people are like, dude, you're injured. And like, huh?
Yeah.
I had the same thing where I was at a water park and it's one of those rides. I was teaching too. Like I was there with students and I was there as like a adult who was supposed to be supervising. We go down, me and another teacher go down one of these slides that you have to go down in like a little raft on. Mm-hmm. And when we get to the bottom, I just roll off the back of the raft like I'm a scuba diver, but the water's only like a foot deep. So I just hit the top of my head, split it open, and I'm walking around the park bleeding from my head. And people are like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. Like, you should go to the medical tent. I'm like, I can't. I'm babysitting 50 kids.
Jeez.
So I just walked around bleeding from the head with a bunch of kids.
That's insane.
I was okay. I mean, I think I was okay. I remember the whole day. I didn't black out or
the whole day.
Start speaking backwards or yeah.
Oh gosh.
So I'm fully vaccinated now. I'm not bragging, I'm just saying it. So one of the first things that I'm looking forward to, because my vaccination fully kicked in like just last week, is getting out and seeing live music again. What have you seen or what will you see now that the bands are coming back around again?
Let's see. I want to go. actually, I don't even. Is it weird that I say this? I don't want to go see the bands per se.
Yeah.
I want to go see my roadie friends.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't think about it from that perspective because, like, when you guys all get back together again, it'll probably be like summer camp, right? I
Yeah,
missed you guys.
yeah, like that. That's pretty much what I want to do. I just want to go see like like I saw Glassjaw is coming. I want to go see the guys in that camp. Um, when Ministry plays on the tour
Ooh.
that I was supposed to be on, I want to go see some of my homies that are on the Ministry camp, like Butcher Babies. When In This Moment plays, I want to go see my buddy Bubba, who does merch for them, and my buddy Samson, who's head of security for them. Like he does security for In This Moment. I want to see John, who does in-ear monitors for them. Like
Yeah.
that's my thing. It's like cool. The music is back. Whatever. I want to see my friends, and I want to see how they set up their
You're not there
stuff.
for the music. You're there for the people that are bringing the music back.
Yeah, yeah, which is
Dude,
weird.
how many different, like, somebody says I'm a roadie, how many different possibilities are there of like what that person could actually be doing? Because there's lights, there's sound, there's actual
There's there's a
music
lot.
equipment.
There's so much.
Can it be broken down into like at least different departments? Like, these are the guys that make the stage, and these are the guys that set up the instruments, and these are the guys that set up the lights.
Yeah, it's lighting, uh, backline tech, which is like setting up. Backline is like across the board. Like you set up everything, like guitars, bass, drums, yada yada. Or there's like drum tech, guitar tech, bass tech, playback tech, video tech, like everything that you could think of, there's a tech for.
And I just remember, was it Wayne's? I think it was Wayne's World 2. Did you see that movie?
Is that the newest one where like they're like big and bulky and whatever and like?
No, that's not the newest, because they might be making an even newer one. But Wayne's World 2 was one that came out in the 90s still. But they like Jim Morrison's ghost comes back and tells them that they need to put on a concert. So they do like it's kind of like what was that movie with Kevin Costner where he makes the baseball field? Field of Dreams.
Yeah, Field of Dreams.
So it's basically like Field of Dreams, but like for a rock concert. And then Lemmy is like teaching all these guys how to be roadies. So they're like pulling the microphone stand down with the rope, and the roadies are like running out there as fast as they can, picking it back up and running off the stage.
Oh gosh.
Is there actually like, is there a way to learn to be a roadie, or do you just have to like get on the crew and learn it firsthand?
So it's like two things. Like some people are like just naturally born to do it. Like once they get there up there, they boom, they kill it.
Yeah.
And then there's some people that you have to learn how to do it. And then there's those that want to do it that are not cut out to do it.
I was going to say, I can imagine that there's a lot of people who think it would just be cool because you get to party, and that's where they stop, is at the party.
Yeah, no, that's
because I mean, you hear those stories of like Diamond Dave back in the Van Halen days was like, hey, whichever roadie can get me the hottest girl gets to have her after I'm done.
No, yeah, that was back in the day. Now, nope, there's none of that happening backstage. You're lucky to find somewhere to fall asleep. You're so busy. Like, yeah, no, the glory days of that is long gone.
Those are the Wild West days, huh?
Mm-hmm. Like now, it's like you try to take a nap on the bus or in your bunk and hope that you could take a nap, but yeah, no, those days are gone.
Do you have any funny or outrageous stories that really stick out to you when people are like, hey man, what's something that happened on the road that would turn somebody's head if you told them?
I have a few, but I can't really discuss those.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I understand if you're not at liberty to say.
Yeah.
Have you ever had anything happen on the road where you were like genuinely worried about your well-being or like the safety and well-being of any of the crew or the equipment, where it was just like near catastrophe type moments?
Yeah. During the I Love the 90s tour, what I forget what venue it was, and even if I did, I wouldn't say it because I don't want to like screw them
Right.
up. But like during the show, damn, that's not his name. I was gonna say his real name, Young MC, not Young MC. And I forget the name of I can't remember his name, but he one of the old school rappers was on stage doing his thing, and his set was like bass heavy. So one of the shackles from the venue house, came loose and hit someone in the head. Yeah.
Ooh, shit.
Yeah. And like everybody's like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? And I was like everybody's all like freaking out, and me and like the house stage manager and production crew, we ran up in the scaffolding and we were like making sure that all the rigging was perfect, and just in case again.
Yeah.
That was one of those instances where I was just like, whoa.
Does that bring the show to a stop, or is it one of those the show must go on and like
No,
you give that person the best care you can, but everybody keeps going?
Yeah, it was one of those like they stopped for a minute, and then they took care of the lady that was hurt or whatever, and then like they started going back on with the show. But like a lot of people didn't even realize what happened. All they saw was like the girl fall out. Yeah.
Yeah, because I always wonder, like, depending especially on what band it is or what singer or what rapper, whoever, like I remember hearing the story about James Hetfield being in the wrong spot and then one of their pyrotechnics just blowing up right on him. But you haven't seen anything to that kind of effect where it's like, holy shit, that person needs medical attention or they're going to die.
No, not luckily not on any of the stuff that I was on. Like it was just more like weird, like technical stuff, like the speaker's about to fall and like we fix it before it fucking falls,
or maybe somebody has to like run outside the venue and try to find the drummer for one of the bands. He's not even here. No, who's worse though? Who just in terms of like living with on the road, the musicians or the roadies? Because I almost feel like the musicians could get a little bit prima donna about it.
Yeah, so some of them were like little like prima donna-ish, and sometimes
you're all here because of me, man.
Yeah, and like there was a couple times I was just like, look, dude, I'm knocking you down a peg or two because you are just like me, and if I cut you, you're gonna bleed.
Yeah.
So chill the fuck out.
Yeah, and if we don't set this up, you ain't gonna have a show tonight.
Yeah. Oh man. Ooh. Yeah. That's yeah. So there was someone that I'm not going to mention his name had that little attitude. He's just like blah blah blah. I was just like, listen, I don't care what you think you are, but if it wasn't for us setting up your stage, mister, you wouldn't have a show. So calm it down.
Yeah. More often than not, though, the musicians just as cool as anybody else, or is there a little bit of a disconnect?
No, they're cool as heck. Like it's like a family out there. When if you're on a good tour with a great band or whatever, it's like a family. Everybody looks out for each other. We all, go out and do like we'll rent those little electric scooters on the day off and ride around town and stuff like that. Like it's a big family. Like I miss that aspect of touring.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like it. like for me, like the whole being away from touring has been like kind of weird for me because like here at home, like I started falling asleep a lot more on my couch.
Yeah.
And like no, like I would put my book bag at as my pillow, and I would lay in on my couch like that. And then one day I told my niece, I was just like, "Yo, I think I'm having like withdrawal of not being on tour, so I sleep
Yeah.
down here thinking it's my bunk."
Yeah. That's funny, man. I believe it though. Do you have plans to get back out on the road now or anytime soon or?
Eventually, yeah, I do. Right now, focusing more on my health because I've come across some like bad stuff health wise. I got
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Oh, it's all good, bro. Yeah, I got like diagnosed with stage 2 chronic kidney disease.
Ooh.
So yeah, now I'm like focusing more on that and like I
Do you
want to
do
make sure.
dialysis and all that stuff?
No, not yet, not yet. I'm not at that point where I need to get dialysis and stuff like that. But like my main thing is like when I tour and I work with bands and stuff, I give them
Mm.
120% because the reason why I became a roadie is because I remember my first experience and walking in and seeing the lights and seeing the stage and seeing the speakers and then the show started and everything started going on. I was just like, whoa, this is awesome. So
Yeah.
like for me, I want to recreate that experience for someone who saved their money for this show to come through the town. So like I could tour right now, but I know I wouldn't be able to give the tour my complete 100%. So I don't if I can't give you my fullness, I don't want to do it.
Yeah. That kind of reminds me of can't remember if it was Willie Mays or one of the older baseball players. Like they were up by a bunch and he made this play where he sacrificed his body and it was totally unnecessary. And they're like, why would you do that? It was totally unnecessary. He's like, because it might have been the first time one of these fans has seen me play live.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to mail it in for him.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like every once in a while, like I'll be on stage, which is weird because I don't have stage fright when I'm on stage working. But when I was in a band, I was just like, oh shit.
Yeah, right.
But like every now and then, like I'll look into the crowd and like I'll spot that one person that's in the front barricade, like with the gleaming
Just
eyes, like
no
whoa.
eyelids at all. Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like right there. I'm just like, yeah,
And that
that's
tickles your
why I do
heartstrings.
that.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, that's why I do this. That's why I sacrifice a lot of the things in my life to see that.
Yeah.
It's like, it also reminds me of the one
And
song.
I can see it. I can see it because the people won't have video of this, but just now on his face, you could see a twinkle in his eye, like very almost Santa Claus, like when he was talking about that. It was moving for me. Truly.
Oh, thank you. And like, it reminds me of the one song by I think it's Jackson Brown when he talks about roadies and how we're the first ones to come and the last to leave, and like that's I would not I couldn't give anything to like show like how much being a roadie means to me. Like it's my lifeline, and not being able to do it has been hurtful, but in a way now I'm just like, you know what, it's a perfect timing because I get to heal myself from all the times that I've like there was times, man, that like I had like 110 fucking degree fever and I'm still loading out the show, sweating profusely, but I'm like, oh, we gotta do this, we gotta go to the next city.
Right. Right, just trying not to pass out. Jeez.
Oh, like the production manager's like, Pedro, go to the bus. I'm like, no.
Yeah, right. Your skin's wet and looks like clay, and you're just like, I'm all right.
Like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I got this. Like,
well, one thing that I've heard people talking about with the pandemic is that once the pandemic is over and everybody's back out, that there's a lot of people are anticipating that there's going to be like a creative renaissance, because all these people, you know, like you and the other artists and the other musicians have just been like sitting on their hands instead of going out and entertaining people like they have been. And all that energy's got to go somewhere. So where does it go? Is just, it goes back into like new songs, new works of art, new technology, new this, new that, because that's all anybody's been able to focus on is their own stuff. So I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to that. I don't think it was worth the year of everything being locked down to get it, but I don't know. I'm optimistic and hopeful that there's a lot of really cool creative stuff coming.
Yeah, same. There's a couple artists that I've been watching that I'm like, I'm excited to see what they come out with.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I can't wait to hear the new projects that come out. Like, there has been some new stuff that came out. And I'm just like, okay, cool. You could have done better, but whatever. And then there's some projects that of artists. I'm not gonna name any names, but you can just tell that they were just doing it for the money.
Yeah.
And making stuff just for so they could, you know, pay bills or whatever. Which you know, I'm not gonna knock their hustle.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Like, I don't hate that, but I don't necessarily respect it either.
Yeah, I'm
not gonna hate on somebody for putting food on the table.
Yeah. Like there was a couple bands that like I had in high regards.
Yeah.
And then I saw that they were doing a whole bunch of like live stream concerts, and then they were charging people for a meet and greet.
Just for the meet and greet?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Like a Zoom meet and greet, and they were charging like mad money for it. I'm just like, I was like, dude, no.
I mean, they got to make up that income somehow, but that seems like kind of a shitty way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, sell autograph stuff or something.
Yeah.
Something that'll mean something more to somebody than a Zoom meeting.
Yeah. I was just like, okay, this is kind of stupid, but whatever, dude.
And you wouldn't even have to sign it if you were a real asshole. You could just have an assistant be like, sign 5,000 of these and then sell them for $10 each.
Yeah, or even make a stamp.
Like, yeah, anytime you get something from the president of the bank and you see his signature at the bottom.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else that you want to talk about before we start moving towards wrapping up?
Well, there's a few stuff that I'm in the process of working on. I'm actually I'm retouching bases on a book that I started a while back, because like there was a while back and I was just like, oh, I want to write a book, and like I wrote it. I have 20 pages, and one of my friends is proofreading it right now to make sure, like, you know, it's not like a 20-page run-on sentence.
Yeah.
I'm in the process of doing that. And then I started another one, which is gonna pretty much talk about being a roadie and life on the road and the sacrifices that we've done. And I'm gonna try to interview roadie friends of mine for the book.
Dude, that's awesome.
So like I'm in the process of doing that. I gotta hit up the guy and see how far we came along with it. But since medical marijuana has been a huge thing now,
one of the sponsors of the show, actually.
Nice. Yeah, I'm in the process of I have an idea that I came up with that is going to be the Pedro the Roadie strain.
Ooh. And now, what kind of strain are we talking about here? I'm fairly well versed myself. Indica, sativa, ruderalis, hybrid.
I want it to be a hybrid.
Yeah, those are the most, from what I've been told. Because on episode 5 of this show, I had Fresh Coast Seed Company, who's also now a sponsor, on the show, and they talked about how they make all their different things because they've got like almost 36 unique strains registered.
Send me their info because I want to send my idea because like because my thing is like right now I gave the idea to someone and I'm not sure how far they come along with it. If they're slacking on it, then I'm gonna move on with someone that's actually gonna take this and ride. Because
if this dude was gonna take it and ride, he would take it and ride because he's a hardcore dude. Before he got into growing medical marijuana, one of his jobs that he worked before was on an Alaskan fishing boat. So dude's no stranger to hard work.
Nice. Yeah, because like the idea, I'll text you the idea, and you're gonna be like, cool. Oh shoot, this is a good idea. But yeah, like I wanna focus this around the industry.
Yeah.
What else?
I'll definitely hook you guys up because I've told people before, I know I'm not Joe Rogan and I'm not making people famous just by being on the show, but I have connected a lot of people who've been on the show with each other, and they've been able to get together and do some stuff, and that's that's the name of my game right now, is trying to be like the creative matchmaker and then also just encourage people to go out and do something.
Yeah, that's pretty much just like I try to connect other creatives with other creatives to be like, hey, do this.
Yeah.
And this guy could help you with this and yeah. For a minute I was pressuring myself to put out another album, but then I looked at my catalog online. I'm just like, dude, you have like 2 albums, like a couple EPs and a couple of singles, and you did it in a span of a year. So it's like you could afford to like not put out an album this year.
Yeah, especially if you feel like you've got to. You know what I mean? That's not the way you want to do it. It's just feeling like you're doing it because you've got to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just like, but I have stuff that I have saved, and I'll probably put something out. I don't know.
Well, I've got a million guitar riffs. Well, no, not anywhere near a million, but a ton of guitar riffs. So maybe I'll look into Splice and I'll send you some riffs and see if you can mix them up.
Yes, that'll be awesome. I would love that.
I would too, man. Well, I think this is the part where we'll probably wrap it up. We've been talking for a little over an hour, so why don't you go ahead and tell everybody that wants to check out what you've done and what the Art Collective is doing, where they can find all that.
If you want to find out more information about me, you can find me on Instagram under Karuna Collective Art, Karuna Collective Art at Instagram.
And you guys are on Facebook too, right?
Yeah, on Facebook as well.
Yep.
You can find me on Facebook as well. Or even if you Google Karuna Collective Art, it'll pop up. Or if you Google Pedro the Roadie, my thing will pop up as well.
Yeah, and I'll put all that in the show notes too for everybody who's listening. Don't worry. Then yeah, man. When you do get on the road again, if you are ever in Michigan,
nice. Yes.
let me know, man. Michigan or Chicago, Ohio area too. I could swing some of those.
Chicago, man. I want to go to Chicago again.
Me too. I haven't been since 2009.
Oh, dude, I have to link you up with my buddy Jim Lamarca. He used to be the bassist for Chimera.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he
I've been saying that wrong, by the way, too. Now that I heard you say
it, he has a barber shop out in Chicago, and his dad owns a pizza shop. Yeah, so I'll link you guys up so you guys go.
His dad owns a pizza shop in Chicago.
Yeah,
Ka-ching. That's the guy I want to know.
Yeah, dude, like he, yeah, he. I talk to him here and there. Like he's one of my a good friend that when I need a little hey kicking ass, he'll be like, hey dude,
Get
straight
shit
up.
together.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's good to have the people that keep you on the straight and narrow, man.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever need me too, I can tell you to get your head out of your ass. I don't mind.
Heck yeah. Fuck yeah. I could use as many of those in life as I can possibly get.
I'll make sure I'll just call you up once, twice a month. Hey man, you getting your shit done?
or send a big biker dude to my house. Ding dong. I'm like, who are you?
That's right.
Chris said, get your shit together. Okay, shit.
He wants to see a picture of something you've been working on now.
Yeah.
Well, hey man, it's been fun talking to you.
Oh,
let's not be strangers to each other either, huh?
Oh no. Well, we chat a lot on Instagram too, so
yeah. And then if you find yourself getting into some cool, interesting stuff, let me know and we'll come talk about it some more.
Oh, word. I will.
Yeah, and same thing goes with any of the fine folks that you work with. If you think somebody's got a cool story or they're just fun to talk to, send them my way, man.
All right, cool. Actually, I'm gonna message my one buddy that I did that track with.
Oh, Seb1?
Yeah, and be like, hey, you want to do an interview with my buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah, because this dude, like right now, he literally is going nonstop because he's putting out an album called Popular Loner Kids. Yeah.
Okay. I'll make sure that I'll just make sure that I put a link to Seb1 on here.
Yeah, and I'll tell him, be like, hey, you want to do a podcast and have them out on your John.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, because I got to get some East Coast hip hop. Damn. I had a West Coast hip hop artist on. I got to balance it out. So there we go.
Twister.
Yeah, East Coast hip hop. There. Pedro, hey man, it was great getting to know you. Thank you so much for coming on the show and talking.
Thank you, sir.
I wish you all the best personally and professionally.
Same as you can't. The people at home can't see it, but that was that's my KMFDM tattoo that I got when I was on the tour. It's
nice.
It's like
are you covered all the way around?
I have a few, not really fully covered yet. I want to.
Yeah, I got the arm done up top on the side.
Oh, nice.
And I got a little bit of something on this side too. Not as much. Then I got some words on the back too.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I'm not fully covered. Like,
I got the half sleeve. I can cover it up with a shirt, or I can pull it out and be like, "Err."
Yeah, I had to stop for a bit because when I was on Disney on Ice, they frowned upon the tattoos, and I had to wear like.
Oh, did they now?
Shirt. Yeah,
the same people that produced the Paul brothers.
Dude, this facial hair, you couldn't have any facial hair. Yeah, and then back in the day, I had my ears like gouged, so I had to like put a clear thingy in my ear. They're like, it'll freak out the kids. I'm like, if I had a brown thingy in here, it'll look like a natural color. But if it's clear, the kids are going to see a big gaping hole in my ear.
They're going to watch a 7-foot mouse with a giant head ice skate. I think they'll be okay.
Oh, before we wrap up, I'm gonna tell you a story that happened on Disney on Ice, dude. And I'm not sure the video is still up on YouTube. But we were in South Africa, right? And Goofy comes running from center stage, and he hits the front, falls, his head pops off his head and into the lap of this little kid. And like I'm standing there doing the sound for it, and I radio into the stage manager. I was like, do you want me to stop the show? Goofy just lost his head. And they're like, keep it going. I was like, okay, shit. Yeah. Like when that happened, I was trying not to laugh so much. I'm just like, my goodness.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know whose face I would rather see more. The girl who's had the head in her lap or the guy who the head came off of.
Yeah. Oh man, that was so bad. I felt so bad for that kid too. He's probably still traumatized going to therapy for it.
Somebody puts the Disney Channel on. He just starts rocking in this corner. Oh.
Like it all started when I went to go see them. Oh gosh.
Oh, that's a good one to end on. Pedro, thank you, man. It was a pleasure talking to you. All the best over there in Philly. And everyone around the world, thank you for listening to us. Check out Pedro on Instagram. Check out the Karuna Collective. Check out the show notes for all the links.
Yep. Thank you.
Thanks, Pedro. Take care, man.
All right, brother. Peace.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening. I really appreciate it. Give me a follow on Instagram, Christopher_Talon. Check me out on Facebook and Twitter at Talon Writes. And check out anything else at www.christophertalon.com. I really appreciate it. Give me a follow out there. Check me out. I'll check you out. And we'll see you next time.